The words landed like a physical blow. No black man can buy this house legally. You're a drug dealer or a thief. On your knees, boy, before I put you there myself. Officer Harlan stood at the gate sneering at Marcus Ellison, a black millionaire who had been relaxing beside his own pool in the Riverside Heights neighborhood of Arizona. What should have been an ordinary afternoon dissolved into a calculated display of harassment and humiliation. Two white officers had appeared without warning, demanded identification, shoved him against his own gate, and snapped handcuffs onto his wrists with brutal efficiency. It was degrading. His white neighbor watched the entire scene from her window and did nothing. But Officer Harlan had just made the worst mistake of his career. Marcus had been ready. 12 hidden cameras had recorded every racist word and every illegal move. One phone call to the right name was about to detonate these officers' lives. What came next would end careers, expose long-buried secrets, and prove that justice, though often slow, was far from dead. If you have ever been told you do not belong, this story will satisfy something deep inside you. Marcus Ellison had purchased the house in the gated community of Riverside Heights for its 5 bedrooms and the kidney-shaped saltwater pool that offered sweeping desert views. The pool had sold him. He loved the house, yet had never truly felt at home there. In his 40s, he had built a software company from a modest apartment in Tempe, coding through long, relentless hours until he sold it while still young. Early retirement had given him freedom, but it had also brought an unexpected loneliness. He wore a watch worth more than most cars, drove a Tesla, and waved at neighbors who almost never waved back. Riverside Heights was overwhelmingly white, a reality he had understood when he signed the papers. His realtor had warned him it was a very established neighborhood. Marcus had known what that meant, yet he bought the house anyway. From the very first days, Helen Caldwell's curtain began twitching every morning as he jogged past. Never a wave, only silent watching. Patrol cars soon appeared, rolling slowly past his driveway several times a day. No stops, just surveillance. Then the HOA complaints started. Too many vehicles during dinner when friends visited. Loud music while watching a movie in the evening. Suspicious activity for simply pressure washing his own driveway. Every complaint was investigated and dismissed, but the reports kept coming. Marcus was not naive. He had built his company from nothing through sheer determination. He understood exactly what was happening. When you are a successful black man, people default to assumptions of athlete, rapper, or criminal. A tech entrepreneur did not fit their script, so they stared. They questioned. They called the police. Marcus tried to be perfect. He waved at everyone. He introduced himself at meetings. He brought cookies to Helen Caldwell. She took them but never thanked him. He kept his lawn immaculate, his music low, his visits short. He made himself smaller, less threatening, less visibly black. It did not work. The questions continued. At the community pool, "Are you visiting someone?" At the gate, "Can I see your badge?" At the mailboxes, "Which house again?" Always polite on the surface, yet carrying that unmistakable edge beneath. "We're watching." Marcus installed 12 cameras. The front gate had facial recognition. The driveway captured license plates. The pool was covered from 3 angles, along with the side yard, street views, doorbell, garage, and backyard, all in crisp 4K with cloud backup and instant motion alerts to his phone. The installer asked if he was expecting trouble. Marcus smiled and said he was simply being careful. That same day, he called Lauren Bennett. They had met at a tech conference sometime earlier. She was a civil rights attorney who specialized in police misconduct and had won many cases. Marcus described the stairs, the patrol cars, the endless complaints. Lauren was not surprised. "Want to retain me?" she asked. "Just in case," he replied. She sent a retainer agreement. He signed it and paid the advance. She gave him her cell number. "If anything happens, call me immediately. Don't answer questions. Just say my name." Marcus memorized it. Lauren Bennett. 2 words that might one day save his life. Time passed quietly. The cameras recorded his peaceful routines. Swimming, grilling, reading, living his expensive but uneventful life. Nothing happened. Marcus began to relax. Perhaps he had overreacted. Perhaps the cameras had been unnecessary. Then, one afternoon, Marcus was floating in his pool, eyes closed, the sun warming his face. The gate buzzer shattered the stillness. His pulse quickened as he checked the security app. 2 uniformed officers stood at his gate. He climbed out, wrapped a towel around his shoulders, and walked to the intercom. On the screen were Officer Harlan, older, thick-armed, mirrored sunglasses, and a younger officer, Ramirez, standing behind him. "Yes? Riverside Police. We need to speak with you. Open the gate." "What is this about?" "Noise complaint. Open the gate." Marcus glanced at his pool. The only sound was water lapping tile. No music. The nearest neighbor, Helen Caldwell, lived a good distance away, and the other nearby house stood vacant. "I haven't been playing music." "We need to verify residence. Open the gate, sir." That word, sir, sounded like a threat. Marcus released the gate. He met them in the driveway, water still dripping from his trunks, towel around his shoulders, the afternoon heat crushing. The officers approached. Harlan looked Marcus up and down slowly. "You live here?" "Yes." "Prove it." Marcus blinked. "Prove I live in my own house? You need ID?" "My ID is inside." Harlan's hand dropped to his belt. "Why do you need to go inside?" "You asked for ID. It's in my kitchen." "Keep your hands visible. Don't reach for anything." Marcus lifted both hands. The towel slipped. "I'm not reaching. You asked for identification." Ramirez shifted. Marcus noticed both body cameras were dark. No recording lights. Deliberately off. He kept breathing steadily. "Am I being detained?" Harlan stepped closer, coffee and cigarettes on his breath. "Turn around. Hands behind your back." "For what?" "You're resisting." "I asked a legal question." "Turn around. Now." Ramirez spoke quietly. "Harlan, maybe I got this." Harlan pulled the handcuffs. Marcus did not resist. He turned slowly, hands behind his back. The cuffs snapped shut. Too tight. Metal bit into his wrists. From her window, Helen Caldwell's curtain moved. She was watching, hearing everything. The curtain stayed open for a few seconds, then closed. Marcus stood handcuffed in his own driveway, water drying on his skin, his neighbor a silent witness, 2 officers with cameras off. Harlan's grip tightened. "Who is the homeowner?" "I am." "Sure you are. Guys like you don't own places like this." Ramirez looked away. Marcus breathed slowly. He had been preparing for this. 12 cameras were recording every word, every racist assumption. He spoke clearly and calmly. "I want to call my attorney, Lauren Bennett." Harlan's smirk faltered. "Just a second. You know that name." Marcus repeated it quietly. Harlan's jaw tightened. He keyed his radio. "Dispatch, need a supervisor." The radio crackled. "Sending Lieutenant Shaw." Ramirez shifted nervously. "Maybe we should wait for Shaw." Marcus remained there, handcuffed, patient, cameras rolling, while somewhere downtown, Lauren Bennett's phone began to ring. He stood in the blistering heat, shoulders aching, salt residue forming on his skin. He did not complain. He simply breathed steadily while Harlan made calls and Ramirez pretended to check the patrol car. The street was silent except for a distant leaf blower and cicadas. No cars, no other neighbors, just Marcus, 2 officers, and 12 hidden cameras. Helen Caldwell's curtain had not moved again, but Marcus knew she was still there, watching him stand humiliated, probably wondering what he had done wrong. His phone buzzed 3 times. Lauren's signal. She was coming. A black BMW turned onto the street and parked behind the patrol car. Lauren Bennett stepped out, mid-30s, dark suit despite the heat, briefcase in hand, phone ready. She did not hurry. She walked with the calm, measured pace of someone who had done this many times before. Harlan watched her approach. Lauren handed business cards to both officers. "Lauren Bennett, civil rights attorney. I represent Mr. Ellison. Remove those handcuffs immediately." Harlan glanced at the card, jaw tightening. "Your client was resisting. He was answering questions. Remove the handcuffs or I file false arrest before you leave." Ramirez moved first, key out. Harlan shot him a look but did not stop him. The cuffs clicked open. Marcus brought his hands forward, rubbing the deep red marks on his wrists. Lauren photographed them from several angles without asking permission. Harlan's radio crackled. Lieutenant Shaw was minutes away. Lauren looked at Marcus. "You okay?" He nodded. "Don't answer any more questions." She turned to Harlan. "What was the complaint? Noise disturbance? From where?" Harlan gestured vaguely toward the pool area. "And the complainant?" "Anonymous." Lauren's eyes flashed. "Anonymous? Mr. Ellison has been swimming alone. No music, no guests. Either your tipster was mistaken or this stop had nothing to do with noise." Harlan said nothing. "I'll need the call log, time, caller information, recording." She tapped her phone. "I'll file it along with a formal complaint. I assume both body cameras captured everything." Ramirez's eyes widened. Harlan's face hardened. "Technical difficulties. Cameras malfunctioned. Both cameras at the same time. Unfortunate." Lauren typed. "I'll need maintenance records and metadata showing when they were activated." An unmarked sedan pulled up. A man in plain clothes stepped out. Early 50s, gray hair, cheap suit. He moved with careful authority. Lieutenant Victor Shaw. Lauren spoke quietly to Marcus. "He handles complaints and makes them disappear." Shaw approached, hands visible, palms open. A de-escalation gesture. "Afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Shaw. Let's figure out what happened." "What happened?" Lauren said. "Your officers responded to a non-existent noise complaint, demanded ID from a homeowner in his own driveway. When he exercised his right to ask if he was detained, they handcuffed him. Both body cameras conveniently malfunctioning." Shaw's smile did not reach his eyes. "I understand there's confusion. Mr. Ellison, we apologize. Officers were following procedure. Things get miscommunicated." "Miscommunicated?" Marcus said, his first words in a while, voice steady and cold. "We'd be happy to discuss further," Shaw continued. "Work something out, file a report, note the confusion. Everyone moves on." "Everyone moves on?" Lauren repeated. "How many times have you used that phrase?" Shaw's smile froze. "I'm not sure. I'm stating facts. 12 cameras recorded this entire encounter," Lauren said. "Front gate, driveway, pool, street views. Every angle, every word, including Officer Harlan's comment about guys like you not belonging here." Harlan went pale. Ramirez stepped back. Shaw cleared his throat. "If there were inappropriate comments, there were. All recorded, along with proof that both body cameras were manually deactivated minutes before contact." Lauren handed Shaw her card. "All communication through me. Mr. Ellison answers no questions and signs nothing. I'm filing a formal complaint with Internal Affairs, City Council, and the Civil Rights Division. Clear?" Silence stretched. Shaw took the card and looked at Marcus. Realization shifted behind his eyes. This was not going to stay quiet. "Crystal clear." He turned to Harlan and Ramirez. "Let's go." Harlan opened his mouth, closed it, and walked to the patrol car. Ramirez followed, shoulders hunched. Shaw got into the sedan. 3 vehicles pulled away. The street fell quiet again. "You recorded everything?" Lauren asked. "Every second. 12 angles, 4K cloud backup." "Good. Now we work." She pulled out her tablet. "Send me all footage from every camera." "I can do it now." Lauren looked at him. "You've been ready. Why?" Marcus gestured at his house, his pool, the driveway. "Because I knew it was coming. I'm tired of being scared in my own home." Lauren nodded. "Then let's make sure it never happens again." Marcus walked inside. The air conditioning hit like ice. Lauren set her briefcase on the kitchen island. He handed her water. "Show me the cameras." He opened the iPad. Security app. 12 feeds in a grid. He scrolled to the incident. Footage played. Marcus swimming peacefully, alone, no music, just water. Gate buzzer. Marcus climbing out. Lauren watched intently. "Keep going." The cameras captured everything. Harlan and Ramirez at the gate. Conversation. Marcus opening the gate. Demands. Handcuffs. Every word clear. Lauren paused and zoomed on Harlan's body cam. Lens dark. "Cameras off. Immediately. No lights, not an accident. She resumed. She watched Harlan's face when Marcus said her name. Recognition. A falter. He's heard of me. Has he? Probably. Dozens of cases against Riverside PD in recent years. 2 settlements, 1 trial we won. If Harlan is around, he knows my name means lawsuits. Marcus drank water, wrists throbbing. What now? Now we build. But first... Lauren met his eyes. This won't be easy. They'll push back hard. Riverside PD does not like complaints with evidence. I'm ready. Are you? Once we file, your life changes. They'll investigate you, dig into your background, look for anything to discredit you. Traffic tickets, taxes, old disputes. They'll leak information, plant stories, make you the problem. Let them try. I've got nothing to hide. Lauren nodded. There's something else. What? That retainer wasn't paranoid. It was smart. She pulled a folder from her briefcase. Cases like this take time. Most people can't afford to fight. They take the settlement and the NDA. You're not most people. I know. That's why we'll win. Lauren opened the folder. Documents, forms, timelines. But understand what we're against. Harlan isn't the problem. He's a symptom. The real problem is the system protecting him. The lieutenant who showed up to make this disappear. The department paying settlements quietly for years. Marcus leaned against the counter. How many years? Don't know yet, but I'll find out. Lauren tapped the folder. I'm filing the formal complaint with Internal Affairs, City Council, and the Civil Rights Division. All of them. Requesting records. Every complaint against Harlan in recent years. Every settlement. Every body cam malfunction. Everything. They'll fight, but Arizona has strong public records laws. They'll turn over most of it eventually. Lauren closed the folder. Meanwhile, I need you to write everything that happened. Every detail. What Harlan said, how the handcuffs felt, what you thought. Everything. While it's still fresh. Memory fades. Marcus nodded. The footage. Send it to my secure server. All 12 cameras. Full timeline from before to after the incident. My investigator starts analyzing right away. You have an investigator? Lauren smiled slightly. Donovan Hale, former FBI. He does police misconduct cases. He's good at finding the things departments hide. Metadata, digital forensics, paper trails. Expensive but worth it. Good. This isn't just about you. If Harlan did this to you, he's done it to others. If the department is paying settlements to keep people quiet, we're talking about a pattern and a system bigger than one bad cop. Marcus looked at his hands. The red marks were fading. How long? Months, maybe longer. Are you sure you want this? He thought about standing handcuffed and humiliated while his neighbor watched and did nothing. He heard Harlan's voice again. Guys like you don't belong. I'm sure. Lauren extended her hand. They shook. Then let's start. The doorbell rang. Marcus opened it to find a man in his 40s with salt and pepper hair and wireframe glasses, carrying laptop bags and equipment. Donovan Hale. Lauren sent me. Marcus let him in. Donovan set up in the dining room, spreading cables and hard drives. I need full admin access to your security system, cloud credentials, everything. Marcus handed him the iPad. Donovan plugged in, fingers flying. 12 cameras, 4K, high frame rate, cloud redundancy, broadcast quality. Most people have doorbell cameras that barely catch plates. You have perfection. Wanted to be prepared. You were. Donovan pulled the footage from the incident. He watched once at normal speed, then again at half speed, frame by frame. He did not speak for a while, just watched, took notes, zoomed in on details. Finally, he sat back. Here's what we have. Split screen, 4 angles, same moment. Harlan and Ramirez approaching, both visible. Watch their body cams. He zoomed. The body cams were small, but the detail was clear. Both lenses dark, no lights. They turned them off before arriving, Marcus said. Not exactly. Donovan pulled another window. Code and metadata. I pulled the equipment specs for Riverside PD body cams. Axon Body 3 standard. These don't just malfunction. The design is tamper-proof. Auto activation on drawing a weapon, backup battery, cloud upload. The only way both go dark simultaneously is manual override. Can you prove that? Give me a couple of days. Donovan noted more. We're filing a preservation order. The department must preserve all digital records, body cam logs, GPS from the patrol car, radio transmissions. If they delete anything after we file, that's destruction of evidence. Marcus sat. What are we really looking at? Donovan turned the laptop. A spreadsheet filled the screen. Names, case numbers. Lauren asked me to research. I pulled public records, news archives, court filings. Want to know what I found? Tell me. Officer Craig Harlan has been with Riverside PD for many years. 12 formal complaints filed against him. 12 complaints. A cold feeling settled in Marcus's stomach. What kind? Donovan scrolled. Excessive force, unlawful detention, discriminatory profiling. The interesting part, every single complaint involves a person of color. Black, Latino, Native American. Not one white complainant. And what happened? Donovan scrolled further. 9 marked unfounded after internal investigation. 3 resolved without discipline. But I cross-referenced civil court. 2 complainants filed lawsuits. Both settled out of court. Amounts sealed. The city was represented by the insurance carrier. Money changed hands. How much? Can't tell exactly. Settlements are confidential, but typical civil rights cases settle in that range. Sometimes more with clear evidence. Donovan pulled another document. Found something else. Lieutenant Victor Shaw, the guy who showed up to smooth things over. He's been with the department for many years, the last several in internal affairs. Know what his job is? Handling complaints, investigating officers, recommending discipline. Donovan leaned back. In all that time, he's never recommended termination. Not once. Suspension? Sure. Retraining? Absolutely. Fired? Never. Marcus processed it. He protects bad cops. He manages liability. Different. Bad cops cost money. Lawsuits, settlements, insurance premiums. Shaw's job is making problems disappear before they get expensive. Pay the settlement, make the complainant sign the NDA, file it as resolved, move on. That's not justice. No, it's math. Donovan closed the laptop. But good news. You're not taking a settlement. You're not signing an NDA. We get to pull back the curtain on how this works. Marcus's phone buzzed. Text from Lauren. Office, bring everything. He showed Donovan. Filing day. Lauren submitted the formal complaint. It started the clock. The department had time to respond. Meanwhile, she kept digging. What are you looking for? Patterns. 1 bad incident is a mistake. A dozen incidents is a pattern. If we show Shaw has been covering up, that's conspiracy. Donovan hefted his equipment. I'll call with a preliminary report. Don't talk to anyone from the department. Don't post on social media. Don't tell neighbors. The less noise we make, the more evidence we gather before they circle the wagons. Donovan left. Marcus sat alone. His wrists still ached. He looked at the fading marks. 12 complaints over the years, all against people of color, all buried. He opened the security app and scrolled through footage of his life recorded over time. Hours of his existence, backed up, saved just in case. It turned out just in case had been exactly right. In Lauren's office downtown, Marcus arrived early. The conference room table was covered with documents, printouts, and laptops. Coffee? Lauren offered. Please. She poured. Here's where we are. Donovan has been busy. Donovan pulled up his laptop and projected on the wall. We filed the preservation order. The judge signed it. As of now, Riverside PD is legally required to preserve all records. If they delete anything, it's a crime. Good. But here's what I found before the order went through. Donovan clicked files. Body cam metadata from the department's cloud backup. They don't realize how much these systems log. Every activation, deactivation, every override. The screen showed the log file, device IDs, status codes. Device for Harlan's camera. Donovan highlighted the line. Manual override initiated. Status changed from active to standby, then back to active after leaving your property. Marcus stared. He turned it off before arriving. Exactly. Minutes before contact. Not a malfunction. Premeditation. Lauren noted it. Ramirez, same pattern. Manual override, reactivated later. Both turned off together. Not a glitch. Can they claim accidental? Marcus asked. No. The Axon Body 3 requires a specific sequence. Press and hold 2 buttons simultaneously for several seconds. It can't happen accidentally. Department policy says manual override only for bathroom breaks or sensitive informant conversations, not routine calls. Lauren smiled unpleasantly. Violation number 1, deliberate deactivation. What else? Donovan clicked another file. Harlan's complaint history, official from Internal Affairs. 12 complaints. But here's the interesting part. I pulled email records. How? Public records request. Arizona law requires government agencies to preserve emails on personnel matters. Most are redacted, but not all. Donovan pulled up an email chain. Subject: Harlan's situation. Lieutenant Shaw to Chief of Staff. Another complaint regarding Harlan. Same pattern. Traffic stop escalated. Complainant threatening legal action. Recommend standard resolution. Settlement offer. NDA required. Recommend counseling and retraining. Standard resolution, Marcus said quietly. They have a script, a system. Donovan clicked another email. Chief of Staff response. Approved. Route through legal. Keep quiet. Harlan's union rep asking questions. Can't afford another internal affairs investigation. Lauren leaned forward. Not investigating misconduct. Managing PR. Exactly. Donovan pulled a spreadsheet tracking settlement payments through city budget. Line item: legal settlements and contingencies. Every year the city budgets these payments, like it's expected, like business. Over several years the amounts totaled nearly $300,000, Marcus said quietly. Just what I can track through public records. Could be more sealed. Donovan closed the spreadsheet. Guess whose signature is on every settlement authorization? Marcus knew. Lieutenant Victor Shaw, many years in internal affairs. Signature on every settlement over a certain amount. Not investigating complaints. Budgeting for them. The room fell silent. Lauren finally spoke. This is not one cop harassing one homeowner. It is institutional, systematic. They created a process for paying victims instead of disciplining officers. Can we prove it? Marcus asked. We just did. Lauren tapped the documents. Emails, settlements, complaint histories, body cam metadata. Your 12 cameras capturing everything in 4K. We don't just have a case, we have a scandal. The blog post went up. Marcus's phone buzzed with unknown numbers. He ignored them, made coffee, opened his laptop. Dozens of new emails, most from addresses he didn't recognize. Who are you really? The truth about Marcus Ellison. Riverside victim has history. He clicked one. Forwarded link to the blog, Riverside Truth. 17 paragraphs, anonymous, posted early. Marcus read the claims. He had a criminal record, drug possession from years ago that didn't exist. His company was under investigation for fraud. He had filed lawsuits against previous employers, always playing the race card, always looking for paydays. Every word was a lie, but the post included photos. His house, his car, license plate visible. A blurry shot of him leaving days earlier. The message was clear. We know where you live. We're watching. The comment section was worse. Dozens of comments in hours. Racist. Violent. Marcus stopped reading after the 5th one, suggesting someone should take care of the problem. His phone rang. Lauren. You saw it? Yeah. Don't respond. Don't engage. This is exactly what they do. Character assassination. Make you the villain. Question your credibility before the real story comes out. Lauren's voice was calm and sharp. Donovan is tracing the IP. The post was routed through a VPN, but the original upload came from a city government IP range. Not conclusive, but suggestive. They're using taxpayer infrastructure to smear me. Looks like we'll prove it eventually. Meanwhile, forward everything. Every message, every threat. Document all of it. Worse, 3 business contacts received anonymous emails. Subject: do you know who you're working with? Same lies, fake criminal history, same insinuations. One client called immediately. Marcus, I got a weird email about you. Garbage, right? Completely false. I'm dealing with it. Just checking. You in trouble for holding police accountable? They don't like it. Say no more. Let me know if you need anything. 2 others didn't call. They simply stopped responding. Marcus calculated the loss. Hundreds of thousands in contracts. Gone. The mortgage company called. Routine review of your account, Mr. Ellison. Need updated financial documentation within days. Marcus's mortgage had been on autopay without a single missed payment. This wasn't routine. This was pressure. I'll send everything. Also need proof of income. Tax returns for several years, bank statements, investment portfolios. For a mortgage I've paid perfectly? Standard procedure for high-value properties, sir. Marcus sent the documents that day. Every page. He knew what they would find. Nothing. But it didn't matter. The point wasn't finding something. The point was making him anxious, making him doubt, making him quit. HOA. Mail arrived. Formal complaint. Disruptive resident behavior. Multiple concerns raised by neighbors regarding confrontational interactions with law enforcement. Board meeting scheduled to discuss community standards and resident conduct. Marcus read it twice. Confrontational interactions, like getting handcuffed in your own driveway, was apparently confrontational. He called Lauren. They're escalating. That's good. Good? Good means we're getting to them. If they weren't worried, they'd stay quiet. Instead, they're trying everything. Smear campaigns, financial pressure, HOA complaints, all retaliation, all evidence. Evidence of what? Obstruction, witness intimidation. Every action to silence you is another charge we add. Lauren was typing. Forward the HOA letter. I'll draft a response. Marcus, how are you holding up? Marcus looked around his kitchen, his house, the place he had worked so hard to afford, a place that was supposed to be safe. I'm tired. I know, but don't quit. That's what they want. Settlement, NDA, disappear. That's Shaw's playbook. Make it expensive. Make it exhausting. Make it go away. I'm not going anywhere. Good, because I found something. Donovan had tracked 3 other complainants, people who had filed against Harlan and taken settlements. They were willing to talk. Off record for now, but on record if protected. One was a teacher, a single mother. Harlan had pulled her over for a broken taillight that wasn't broken, searched her car, made her late to pick up her daughter. She filed a complaint, got offered money to drop it and sign an NDA. She had been drowning in student loans. She took it. Marcus closed his eyes. And now she wants to help. She has been carrying this for years, watching Harlan still on the street, still pulling people over. She wants it to stop. Her name is Maya Ellis. 2 others, both black, both professionals, both treated like criminals. They thought they were alone. Now they knew they weren't. Lauren paused. You did that, Marcus. By refusing to be quiet, by having cameras, by not taking the easy way. You gave others permission to come forward. One evening, Marcus was by the pool when the doorbell rang. He checked the camera. Helen Caldwell. He almost didn't answer. She had watched him handcuffed and done nothing. But something made him open the door. Helen stood on the porch holding a folder, her hands shaking. I should have said something sooner. I'm sorry. Marcus didn't speak. Can I come in? He stepped aside. She walked to the kitchen, set the folder on the counter, and opened it. Inside was a handwritten timeline. 3 pages, every detail. The afternoon, what the officer said, what Marcus said, what she saw. I watched the whole thing from my window. I heard everything. I saw them handcuff you for no reason. And I didn't do anything because... She trailed off, looking at her hands. Because I was scared, and because I didn't want to believe police would do that. Not here, not in our neighborhood. But they did. Yes, and I've been thinking every day since, thinking how I would feel if that was me. If someone watched me treated like that and did nothing. She tapped the folder. This is everything I remember. I also took photos through the window. Blurry, but they match your cameras. And I will testify. If you need me, I will tell them what I saw." Marcus picked up the folder and read the first page. The handwriting was precise and detailed. Everything documented. "Why now?" Helen met his eyes. "Because I got a visit. Lieutenant Shaw asking questions about you. Whether you are a good neighbor, whether I have seen suspicious activity, whether you cause problems." She straightened her shoulders. He wasn't asking because he cared. He was fishing, trying to build a case against you. That's when I realized, this isn't about you. This is about them covering their tracks. "And you don't want to help them?" "No, I don't." Helen stood. "I'm in my 70s. I've lived here for many years. I've called the police twice in my life. Both times they were professional and respectful, so I never questioned them. I never thought about how they treat others, people who don't look like me." She headed toward the door, then stopped. "I'm ashamed it took this long, but I'm here now." After she left, Marcus sat with her folder. 3 pages, photos, testimony. One more piece of evidence. One more person who decided not to stay silent. In the weeks that followed, Marcus hadn't been back in the pool. He couldn't explain why. The water was clean, the weather perfect. But every time he looked at the pool, he saw himself standing in the driveway, handcuffed, dripping. His neighbor watching from behind closed curtains, legal bills mounting, Lauren's rate, Donovan's forensics, filing fees, expert witnesses. Marcus could afford it. That wasn't the problem. The problem was watching the numbers climb, knowing this was exactly what Shaw had counted on. Most people couldn't sustain this. Most ran out of money or will before the fight was over. Marcus wasn't most people, but he was tired. The lost contracts hurt more than expected. Not the money. He had enough. But the fact that people he had worked with for years believed anonymous blogs more than him. That stung. The HOA meeting was coming soon. Marcus wasn't attending. Lauren would represent him, but he knew what was coming. Neighbors who used to wave now looked away. The woman at the gate who once chatted about the weather now just scanned badges without speaking. He had become the problem. The guy who made things uncomfortable, who wouldn't let it go. Sometimes late at night, Marcus wondered if they were right. Maybe he should have taken Shaw's offer, filed a report, accepted the apology, moved on. Harlan would still be a cop, but Marcus's life would be normal. No blogs, no legal bills, no sitting alone wondering if this fight was worth it. The phone rang. He almost didn't answer. Marcus Ellison. A woman's voice, unfamiliar. "Yes?" "My name is Maya Ellis. Lauren Bennett gave me your number, said it was okay to call." Marcus sat up. "You're the teacher?" "Yes. I wanted to say thank you." "For what?" "For not giving up. For not taking the settlement. I took mine years ago. It felt like so much money. I had student loans. My daughter needed braces. And they told me if I signed the NDA, it would all go away. So I did." Her voice cracked slightly. "But it didn't go away. I see police cars now and my heart races. I avoid that part of town. I read the news and see Harlan's name on other cases and think, I could have stopped this if I had been brave enough." "You're not wrong to have taken the settlement." "Maybe not, but I was wrong to stay silent." She breathed. "Lauren said you have cameras, video of everything, that you're building a case not just against Harlan, but against the whole system." "That's the plan." "Then I want to help. I will testify. I will break the NDA if I have to. I don't care anymore. My daughter is young now. She's going to grow up in a world where cops like Harlan exist. And I want her to know her mom did something about it." They talked for a while. Maya told her story. Harlan had pulled her over one evening on a dark street with no cars around. He said her taillight was out. It wasn't. He searched her car, made her wait on the curb for a long time while he ran her license, made her late to pick up her daughter. She filed a complaint, Got a call from Shaw 2 weeks later. Take the money, sign the NDA, make it disappear. I thought I was the only one, Maya said. That's what they count on, keeping us isolated, quiet. But I'm not alone anymore, am I? No, Marcus said. You're not. After they hung up, Marcus walked to the back door and looked out at the pool. The water was still blue and inviting. He opened the door, stepped outside. The heat hit immediately. He walked to the edge, dipped a toe. The water was perfect. Marcus took off his shirt and walked down the steps into the pool. The water closed over his shoulders. He floated on his back, eyes closed, the sun warming his face. For the first time in weeks, he felt like himself again. Not because the fight was over, but because he remembered why he was fighting. The first call came. Mr. Ellison, my name is Andre Coleman. I think Officer Harlan did this to me too. By then, there were 8. 8 people, 6 black, 2 Latino, ranging from late 20s to mid-50s, all professionals, all from Riverside Heights or the surrounding area, all with the same story, trivial complaint, escalating encounter, settlement offer, NDA. Lauren hosted the meeting at her office one evening. Marcus arrived early. The conference room was set with chairs in a circle, coffee and water. Lauren's assistant set up a camera on a tripod. We're recording? Marcus asked. Audio only for documentation. Everyone must consent. Lauren checked her notes. Donovan found 8 people who took settlements related to Harlan over the years. All agreed to come tonight. Off record for now. But if they're comfortable, we'll ask them to go on record. The room filled. Maya Ellis arrived first. She shook Marcus's hand. Thank you for calling back. Thank you for coming. Andre Coleman next, a high school math teacher, nervous. Then Elena Vargas, a nurse at a children's hospital. Then others. Lamar Hayes, Quentin Vale, Camilla Ortiz, Desmond Cole. Last was Helen Caldwell, sitting quietly in the corner. 9 people, 9 stories. Lauren started. Thank you for being here. I know this isn't easy. Some of you signed NDAs. Some were told never to speak, but those NDAs were signed under duress. What we're doing isn't breaking contracts. It's exposing a pattern. She clicked the remote. The screen dropped. Donovan's spreadsheet appeared. Years of data, complaints, settlements, body cam malfunctions, all involving Harlan or officers with him. All covered by Lieutenant Shaw. Lauren clicked again. Total settlements paid that we can verify. Nearly $300,000, probably more sealed. Total complaints, 17. Total disciplinary actions, 0. The room was silent. But they didn't count on Marcus Ellison having cameras and refusing to settle. For the first time, we have evidence. Video, metadata, email chains, everything they've been hiding for years. She looked around the room. I cannot promise this will be easy. If you go on record, they will come after you. They will question your motives and try to discredit you. But if we stand together, if we show this is a pattern and not isolated incidents, we can change things. Not just for Harlan, for the whole department. Andre spoke first. What do you need? Your stories on record. Affidavits detailing what happened, what officers said, how you felt, what you were offered to stay quiet. And if we go to trial, some of you willing to testify. I will do it, Maya said immediately. Me too, said Elena. One by one, they agreed. 8 victims, 8 witnesses, 8 people who had carried this alone for years. Not alone anymore. Donovan pulled up a map of Riverside Heights. Pins appeared. Locations where each incident occurred, all within a small radius. Same neighborhood, same pattern. This is what systematic targeting looks like, Donovan said. Marcus stared at the map. 9 pins, 9 people, 9 lives disrupted by the same officer. The meeting ended. People exchanged numbers, promised to stay in touch, and formed a group chat they named the Riverside Accountability Coalition. Helen stopped Marcus. I voted Republican my whole life. I never questioned police. I never protested anything. But this, she gestured at the room. This is wrong, and I'm too old to pretend I don't see it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making space for me." Marcus watched her leave. He watched the 8 others walk into the night knowing they weren't fighting alone. Lauren stood beside him. "You did this. We did this." "No, you." "By refusing to be invisible. By having cameras. By calling me instead of giving up." She closed her briefcase. "Now, let's finish it." Donovan found it. Marcus's phone rang early. "You need to see this now." Minutes later, Marcus was in Lauren's office. Donovan had 3 laptops open, all showing spreadsheets. "I've been cross-referencing city budget records with court settlements, looking for payment patterns. Found something that doesn't make sense." He pulled up the City of Riverside budget. Line item: legal settlements and contingencies. Every city has this. You budget for potential lawsuits, slip and falls, vehicle accidents. Standard for Riverside is a certain amount per year. Okay, but look at actual spending. Donovan highlighted the column. They only spend part of it on normal settlements. The rest goes to a different account. Special fund, account number SVIL5529. Lauren leaned forward. "What kind of special fund?" "That's what I couldn't figure out. Not labeled in the public budget. Just a number. So I filed a request with the city controller. It took time, but this." Donovan opened another file. They sent the audit log. A spreadsheet appeared. Years of transactions, amounts, authorization signatures. Marcus scanned the numbers and his stomach dropped. Payments totaling nearly $300,000. "Several years," Marcus said quietly. "All from the special account. And look at the authorization signatures." Donovan zoomed. Every payment, 14 transactions over the years, had the same signature. Lieutenant Victor Shaw. "He has been signing all of them," Lauren said. "Not just signing, managing them." Donovan pulled email records. "Remember those emails about standard resolution and keep this quiet?" I went back through the dates. Every email about a Harlan complaint corresponds to a payment from this account within days. He created a timeline. Complaints filed. Payments made. Shaw's signature. "They're not investigating complaints," Marcus said. "They're processing them exactly like an assembly line. Complaint comes in. Shaw evaluates. Makes a settlement offer. Victim signs the NDA. Payment goes out. Case closed. Over and over." Donovan sat back. "Worst part, this isn't from an insurance carrier. This is taxpayer money, direct from city funds. Shaw isn't just covering misconduct. He's using public money to do it." Lauren's fingers typed rapidly. "That's fraud, misuse of public funds, and if he's been doing this systematically, it's conspiracy." "Can we prove intent?" Marcus asked. Donovan pulled one more email. "Shaw to police chief. Another Harlan situation. 4th in recent months. Running through the settlement fund faster than budgeted. Recommend increasing allocation. These situations are not going away. Need a sustainable funding model." "Sustainable funding model," Lauren read aloud. "He's not trying to stop complaints. He's budgeting for them to continue." The room was quiet. Marcus thought about Maya Ellis. $15,000. She thought she was the only one. She thought taking the money would make it stop. She didn't know there was a fund. She didn't know Shaw had done this many other times. She didn't know her silence was just another line item in a budget designed to protect bad cops. "This changes everything," Marcus said. "Yes," Lauren agreed. "This is not about firing Harlan anymore. This is about dismantling the system that protected him. Shaw, the department, city officials who approved these budgets year after year without asking questions." Donovan closed the laptops. "I'll keep digging. See if other officers have similar patterns. See if Shaw has been running the same playbook for other complaints." "How long?" Lauren asked. "Give me a week." Lauren nodded. "We go public soon. Press conference. All 9 victims if they're willing. Full evidence packet. And we call for a grand jury investigation. Not internal affairs, not the city. A real criminal investigation." Marcus looked at the spreadsheet still on the screen. Nearly $300,000 over several years. 14 victims they knew about. Probably more. "They built a machine," he said, "for burying complaints and paying off victims." "Yes," Lauren said, "and we're about to break it." The grand jury room was smaller than Marcus expected. At the Maricopa County Courthouse, Marcus arrived with Lauren. Outside, news vans lined the street. Reporters shouted questions. Marcus didn't answer. He walked through the doors, took the elevator, and entered the room. It was plain. Fluorescent lights, beige walls. 23 citizens sat in rows, notebooks open. Prosecutor at the front, court reporter in the corner. No defense attorneys. That was the rule. Marcus took his seat at the witness table. Lauren sat in the back, observers only. The prosecutor nodded. Mr. Ellison, please state your name. Marcus Ellison. Thank you. I understand you have a presentation for the grand jury regarding the incident. Yes. Proceed. Marcus stood. No notes. He had prepared thoroughly. He started at the beginning. One afternoon, I was swimming in my pool alone. No music, no guests. Just me enjoying the afternoon in the home I had bought some time ago. His voice was steady and clear. At that time, 2 officers arrived. They said it was a noise complaint. There was no noise. Marcus pulled out his phone and connected to the courtroom display. 12 camera angles appeared. These are my security cameras. 12 views, high resolution, cloud backup. They recorded everything. He played the footage. Grand jurors watched in silence. Harlan's voice came through the speakers. Prove you live here. Then, guys like you don't belong here. Marcus paused the video. Officer Harlan assumed I was a criminal. Why? Because I am black. Because in his mind, black men don't buy expensive homes with clean money. He resumed. Handcuffs, humiliation, Helen Caldwell's curtain moving. I was detained, handcuffed in my own driveway. Both officers had turned off their body cameras minutes before arriving. Manually, deliberately. Marcus switched to Donovan's analysis. Metadata, manual override logs, device numbers, proof of premeditation. This was not a mistake. It was a pattern. He showed the spreadsheet. 12 complaints, all people of color, all buried by Shaw. Officer Harlan has done this before. 12 times we know of. And every time Lieutenant Shaw paid victims to stay quiet using taxpayer money. Nearly $300,000 over several years. Grand jurors leaned forward. Marcus showed the emails. Shaw's words. Standard resolution. Keep this quiet. Sustainable funding model. They created a system not to stop police misconduct, but to budget for it, to manage it, to make it sustainable. Marcus's voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. Harlan is one cop, but Shaw protected him. The department enabled him. The city paid for it with your money, with public funds. He played Helen Caldwell's testimony, then Maya Ellis's, then Andre Coleman's. 8 victims, 8 stories. 8 times the system failed. I'm not here because I am angry. I am here because this is institutional, calculated, and it needs to stop. When he finished, the room was silent. The prosecutor stood. Questions from the grand jury? A woman in the second row raised her hand. These other victims, will they testify? Yes, Marcus said. They are willing. Camera footage is available in full, every second. All 12 angles already submitted. Another juror. Has the department responded? They offered a settlement and an NDA. I declined. The room murmured. The prosecutor called the next witness. Helen Caldwell. Nervous, but her voice clear. I watched from my window. I saw everything. Mr. Ellison was polite. The officers were not. I am ashamed I did not speak sooner. Then Maya Ellis. Donovan Hale with technical analysis. The city controller subpoenaed, confirming the settlement fund. Shaw's signatures. Payments. Testimony done. The grand jury deliberated. After some time, they returned. Indictments issued. Officer Craig Harlan. Official misconduct, multiple counts, false reporting, deprivation of rights. Lieutenant Victor Shaw. Obstruction of justice, misuse of public funds, official misconduct, conspiracy. Warrants issued immediately. Harlan was arrested. Pulled from his patrol car. Handcuffed. Red wrists. Shaw was arrested the next morning at home. Perp walk in pajamas. News cameras captured everything. The police chief issued a statement. We respect the grand jury process. Both officers are suspended without pay pending trial. We take these allegations seriously. Marcus watched the news that night. Harlan in handcuffs. Shaw's mugshot. Headlines about the grand jury indicting 2 Riverside officers. Systematic cover-up exposed. The settlement fund revealed. The phone rang. Lauren. We won. No, Marcus said. We started winning. Trials are next. True, but today was justice. Marcus hung up. He walked to the back door and looked out at the pool. The water was still perfect. His. He smiled. Days after the indictments, the city terminated both officers. Officially fired. Severance denied. Pensions under review. Shaw's criminal trial was set for later. Multiple felony counts. If convicted, he faced significant prison time. His attorney filed motions to dismiss. The judge denied them all. Harlan took a plea deal. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of official misconduct, avoided trial, received a sentence and probation. He would never work in law enforcement again. The police chief announced reforms. City council passed resolutions. Body cameras now mandatory and always on. No manual override except for bathrooms. An independent civilian oversight board was created. 9 citizens with real power to investigate. Public reporting of all complaints and settlements. Annual audits. It wasn't perfect, but it was different. Marcus returned to his pool one afternoon, the same time of day as that day. He floated on his back, eyes closed, the sun warming his face. From her window, Helen Caldwell waved. This time, the window stayed open. The cameras were still recording. Marcus hadn't turned them off. He probably never would. But now, when he checked the footage, it was just him swimming, living, existing in peace. No handcuffs, no humiliation, no officers telling him he didn't belong. They had seen a black man who didn't belong. He had shown them 12 cameras and the truth. And the truth hadn't just gotten them fired. It had gotten them indicted, reformed a department, and given 8 other victims their voices back. 1 phone call, 1 name, Lauren Bennett. That was all it took. If this story moved you, if you've ever been told you don't belong somewhere, you earned your place, share it. Let people know that accountability isn't dead. It just needs evidence. Justice isn't loud, but it is patient. And sometimes one person with cameras and courage is enough to change a system. What would you do if it happened to you? Tell me in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.